Hey everyone, it's Rose from the Painted Toad, and I have a great little Thanksgiving project for you today. So if you're watching, say hi, let me know you're here, and let's get started. So I have some woodcuts uh, from Target and Joann Fabrics. So this one was from Target in the dollar spot, and then this one was from Joann Fabrics. This was actually from Target as well. It was an extra one with another kit. But the little leaf I got from Joann Fabrics. And I was going to create kind of a cool mobile with this. So that is my plan, to do a wall hanging. So I'm going to set these aside and let's get started. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to start with the leaf because I can't decide yet what color I want to do the pumpkin. I was either thinking of doing it in a cream, in a white, or like a rusty orange. And I'm thinking of doing this leaf kind of in a golden color. So I'm going to pull out some colors here. I've got this yellow deep, which is like a yellow orange. And I'm just using artist acrylic here. It's just my own preference. I like them a little bit better than the craft paints. I like a shiny finish over a matte finish. And I'm just going to come in here with a flat brush and we'll get started with the base coat here. And I'm just, setting up my screen here so I can see you. There we go. Facebook is always sticking little reminders and things and then I can't see anything. I'm just going to come in here with the flat brush. And it's called Yellow Deep, but yellow orange. If you're looking for colors, some shade of yellow orange or goldenrod. And around our house, it's finally looking like this, where the trees are finally turning colors. Now for some of these little nooks and crannies, I might get a smaller brush just to kind of get in those areas. I'm just using a little yellow in here. I want to brighten this up just a tad. And most of my yellow deep is already dried because the wood has soaked it in and because I got kicked off of the live earlier. So I'll go back in with a little bit of yellow deep just to get some blending of the two colors here. So I put a little bit of the yellow, yellow orange and the bright yellow on here. And then I'll just blend those edges in. So it's kind of a natural transition between our bright yellow and our yellow orange edges, which I think will look pretty cool. And I'm just going to paint the edge of this. I've got a little bit of orange and then also a little bit of this yellow orange. So I'm going to do a little bit of both here on my brush. My brush is a little crazy though. There we go. Sometimes if you get too much paint on the brush, it wants to be all crazy. Okay, so there we go. This one, get in that little corner, I missed a spot. So there's the first little leaf. And then I was going to do the pumpkin here, I think I'm going to go with maybe a rusty orange on here. So let's see how that works. So what I'm going to use just my regular orange. So I've got a little bit of that on my palette already, but I'm going to get a little bit more so I have enough. And then I have, let me grab it, some burnt sienna, which is kind of like an orangey brown. So I'm going to take a bit of that, not too much, and then let's mix that up and see what tint we can get here. There's still a little bit of yellow in there too. I'll just pull that in. Just pull it all in together. Kind of tone down. I think that'll look really nice. Okay, and then I'll use some of that burnt sienna maybe for some accents. So let's pull this in here. Okay, we got the base coat there, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow orange again and bring in some tones of yellow orange. And for the first part, I don't know if you notice, I kind of curve the brush a little bit, but for this part, I definitely want to curve the brush because I want it to keep that roundish pumpkin shape. So I'm just taking some of that yellow orange and I curve it this way for this side of the pumpkin. And then this way for the other side of the pumpkin. And then the middle of the pumpkin goes both ways. So we're going to go this way and then this way. And that keeps the roundness of our pumpkin. Pumpkin painting 101. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of my raw burnt sienna and I want to bring a little bit of that in here too. So it's a little bit darker, kind of get some more definition on my different sections here, like that. Yeah, you can definitely see that a little bit better. And then because that's so liney, I'm going to take, I haven't really cleaned my brush, but I'm going to go back into my orange and my yellow orange and just blend that in just a tad bit more so it doesn't look like a bunch of lines. We have more of a gradual, natural look to our pumpkin and not just a bunch of crazy lines going on there. There we go. Oop, there's a little paint chunk in there. Hold on. Get that out of there. See how I'm kind of blending that back in a little bit more. I'll go in with the yellow too, the yellow orange to brighten it up again. So sometimes with the painting, it's just kind of layering the colors, looking at it, getting a feel for how it looks. You know, like looking at this, I'm like, well, I could go back and add a little bit more of the bright orange, yellow orange here, just to lighten it up a bit. Grabbing some more paint. And if you work while it's wet like this, you can get all those colors to blend nicely together. Sometimes on the wood you have to work a little fast because it dries quickly. It's acrylic paint, so it does dry quickly. What do you think? Looking good? And do a little bit of the darker color up here because that's our stem. In fact, I think I might bring a little bit of dark brown into there. So let me grab my, so this is a different brown. This is raw umber, which is a much darker brown. It's not reddish like our sienna brown. I'm just going to get a little bit of that. And then let me just grab a different brush here to kind of come in and bring my stem, darken up my stem here. And I do already have a little pumpkin that looks similar to this, and I think I'll add, there we go. Bring that stem down. All right, looking good. Okay, so my edge here, I was going to do the dark brown edge, but then it'll really, I don't know, it'll kind of take over. Let me add a little yellow in here just to lighten that up. So maybe, I think I'm going to do the burnt sienna again. I think I'm going to do kind of a rustic edge here. There. Okay. Now I've got my other little leaves here, so I was going to paint these as well. And I think I'll do one as a little rustic brown leaf, maybe this little oak leaf. My little oak leaves are usually kind of a rustic brown, so let's do that in more of a rustic-y color. There we go. And then while I have that dark brown, while this is still wet, I'll just do a touch of dark brown on here on the edges. Give it a little bit of a dark brown edge and just let that blend right in with the paint. I don't know if you can see that. How's that look? Okay, so there's one leaf. And I already have a big golden maple, so maybe I'm going to make this one kind of red. I haven't pulled out any reds yet. I don't really want like a super brilliant red, which this is kind of brilliant. This is permanent red. I want it toned down a little. So what I'm going to do, so that it's not like super bright red and kind of going with my rustic here, I'm going to tone it down with a little bit more of that burnt sienna. So I'm going to let that mix with the red. Let's first get the red in here. See how that's really, really bright. Of course, you could keep it really bright, but since my color scheme is kind of toned down here, I want it to fit better with the other colors. So we'll do it red first, and then I'm going to come in with that burnt sienna and tone it down. You could mix the color with the red later if you want to, like, or I mean first if you wanted to like mix it up, but I just like to do it right here on the leaf itself. And I just kind of pull the colors in the direction that the leaf veins would be, so you're kind of pulling up. So there, can you see how that toned it right down? So it's still red, but it's not like vibrant Christmas red. So this one's a little bit toned down. I think that's pretty. And then I have my last little leaf here. And this one I think I'll do more of a yellow. Don't need very much paint because these are tiny little leaves. I still had a little bit of the orange in my brush, but that's fine. Just let it mix right in. No big deal. So once again, this is like a super duper bright yellow. And then I'm going to come in and tone it down a bit. Not directly with the burnt sienna. I'm using a little bit of that yellow orange. And then on the edges, I've got some of the orange left that I use in my pumpkin. So I'm going to bring that in here and just kind of bring that along the edge, like so. You kind of go to the middle and then pull it out. Makes it really pretty. Isn't that pretty? Is that focusing? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit, because like this is really, really bright. I'm going to take a little bit of that orange that I used on my pumpkin and just tone this down just a bit so that it goes better with my color scheme here. I need to do the words. So we've got give thanks, and we've also have gather. So here's my idea. I'm thinking I'm going to do the pumpkin here, and then we are going to have, move those aside. I just got them all organized and then I like move them aside. I'm going to have this larger leaf hanging underneath the pumpkin. So between there, I'm going to have a few beads. So let's do like bead, bead. That is the plan. That is, here, let me back it up just a bit more so you can see the whole thing. And then I've got some really cute ribbon. So I'll put a bow up here at the top. And we have a really cool Thanksgiving hanger, wall hanging. You could use it as a door hanger too. If you did both sides, you could use it as a mobile and hang it, I don't know, from your chandelier, maybe. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for now, but I will finish this project and I will probably put this on my blog and on my YouTube page so you can see how I do all the beads and kind of string it all together and make the bow. If you join me, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspired you to create something unique for your Thanksgiving decor. And I always want to remind you to be creative, be artistic, and get connected at the Painted Toad. I will see you later. Have a great day.